What does the data actually say about self-massage for back pain? Because the wellness industry has buried the real answer under a pile of spa aesthetics and vague relaxation claims. Multiple peer-reviewed studies show measurable short-term reductions in pain and muscle tension from specific manual techniques. But the key word there is specific. Technique and pressure matter more than most people think, and doing it wrong can make things worse. This video covers 12 methods that are backed by anatomy and evidence, and you can do all of them by yourself, at home, with things you likely already own. Number 1, tennis ball wall roll for upper back knots. Start with the rhomboids. These muscles sit between your shoulder blade and your spine, and for anyone at a desk all day, they're locked in a low-grade contraction that never fully releases. It's not sharp pain. It's that dull, heavy ache you can't quite reach with your fingers. So you use a tennis ball and a wall. Place the ball in the soft tissue between the spine and the blade. Lean your body weight into it and hold. That sustained compression briefly cuts blood flow to the trigger point, and when you ease off, circulation floods back in and the fibers let go. Number 2, foam roller spine glide massage. The thoracic spine is built to flex and extend. But by your 30s, most people have lost a good chunk of that range because the muscles alongside it have shortened from sitting in the same position for years. When those muscles shorten, the vertebrae stop moving on their own. The whole segment locks up into one rigid block. A foam roller breaks that up differently than stretching does. Stretching pulls on the ends of a muscle. The roller presses directly into the full length of the tissue and creates shear force that breaks up the adhesions, the sticky cross-links that form when muscle fibers stay compressed too long. Position the roller across your mid-back, perpendicular to your spine, knees bent, feet flat. Lower your upper back onto it and let gravity pull you into extension. You're not forcing anything. After a few seconds, shift your hips slightly to move the roller 1 inch up or down, then repeat. You're working each thoracic segment one at a time, and that's what separates this from a basic stretch. Clinical evidence shows foam rolling reduces tissue stiffness and improves range of motion, partly because the pressure activates receptors in the fascia that tell the nervous system to reduce muscle tone in that area. Number 3, lower back palm pressure circles. The erector spinae run like 2 thick cables up either side of your lumbar spine, and when they're overloaded, they don't just hurt at the source. They refer pain into the hips, across the sacrum, sometimes down into the upper glutes. People spend years treating those referred pain sites and never address the muscle actually generating the signal. Most self-massage attempts on the lower back are either too light to do anything or too close to the spine itself. Neither works. The heel of your palm changes that. It's broad and firm enough to distribute force across a wide area of soft tissue without concentrating pressure on a single point. Reach both hands behind you. Place the heels of your palms on either side of the lumbar spine and press down while making slow circles about 3 inches wide. That circular motion creates shear force across the muscle fibers rather than just pushing straight down. Think of 2 pieces of tape stuck together. Straight pressure keeps them stuck. A sliding motion pulls them apart. That's what the circular stroke does to the connective tissue layer sitting between the muscle and the structures beneath it. Number 4, chair back lean and release technique. Your office chair already has a mobilization tool built into it, and almost nobody uses it on purpose. That firm top edge of the chair back sits right at the level of the thoracic spine that gets most compressed from hours of forward sitting. Most people lean back too fast, which triggers the surrounding muscles to tighten right back up. You've felt this. A quick lean, maybe a pop, and 2 minutes later it's just as stiff. The lean and release is slower. Position the chair's top edge just below the segment you want to work. Interlace your hands behind your head and lean back gradually until you feel the first hint of resistance. Then exhale fully. Number 5, trigger point elbow press against the wall. There's a muscle called the subscapularis that sits on the front face of your shoulder blade, buried between the blade and your rib cage, and when it's tight, it creates a deep ache in the shoulder and upper back that no amount of surface rubbing will touch. You can't reach it from behind. The elbow wall method targets a different layer, the mid-trapezius and the muscles along the inner edge of the scapula. Press your elbow against a wall at shoulder height. Lean your body weight into it and slowly rotate your torso away from the wall. Number 6, towel pull stretch massage for mid-back tension. The mid-back sits in a dead zone. Your hands can't reach it from above, they can't reach it from below, and most people just accept the stiffness and move on. Roll a towel. Hold one end over your shoulder and the other at your lower back so it runs diagonally across the mid-back. Then pull both ends apart and slowly drag it up and down. That friction is cross-fiber friction massage, the same technique manual therapists use to break up fascial adhesions and push collagen remodeling in the connective tissue. Number 7, knuckle sweep along the shoulder blades. Along the inner edge of your shoulder blade, the rhomboids and lower trapezius fibers spend all day fighting the forward pull of your chest and shoulders. They're chronically overloaded, and they accumulate tension fast. Curl your fingers into a loose fist. Reach across your body to the opposite shoulder and sweep your knuckles downward along that inner edge. That arm position naturally pins the blade in place and keeps those muscles accessible. 3 to 5 passes per side, adding a little more pressure each time, and the compressed, trapped feeling in that area starts to clear. Number 8, heated water bottle back roll therapy. Most people use heat passively. Heating pad on the back, 20 minutes, temporary relief, and then the tension returns because the warm tissue never received any mechanical input. Nothing changed structurally. That's why it doesn't last. Research on thermotherapy combined with manual pressure shows greater reductions in muscle stiffness than either approach alone. Heat drops the tissue's resistance to mechanical force, and the rocking motion reorganizes fiber alignment while that resistance is low. You're working the tissue during its most receptive window. Number 9, seated twist self-massage for tight muscles. Deep in the lumbar spine sit the multifidus and rotatories, small muscles that run right alongside each vertebra and control rotation. They're buried under the larger erectors, so no tool reaches them directly, and standard stretching can't generate the rotational force they need. The seated twist solves both problems at once. Sit upright, cross your right leg over your left, rotate toward the right, and press your left elbow against your right knee for resistance. Then reach your right hand around to the left side of your lower back and work your fingertips in slow circles while the tissue is already stretched open. Number 10, lacrosse ball floor compression technique. A lacrosse ball doesn't compress under your body weight the way a tennis ball does, and that difference is what makes it reach tissue a softer tool simply can't. Place it on a hard floor, lie down on top of it, and let your full body weight sink in. Most people immediately shift off the tender spots because the pressure feels intense. Don't. Find the tender point and stay there, completely still for 45 to 60 seconds. That sustained compression briefly cuts blood flow to the tissue, and when you lift off, fresh circulation floods back in and the muscle fibers reset. Number 11, fingertip rib to spine muscle release. Every standard back massage technique runs vertically along the spine's length, so the horizontal fibers connecting your ribs to the thoracic erectors almost never get touched. When those fibers tighten, they restrict how far your ribs can expand during breathing, and shallow breathing keeps your nervous system locked in a low-grade tension state that amplifies pain sensitivity and slows recovery. To reach them, press your fingertips into the groove between 2 ribs on your lower rib cage and draw slowly toward the spine. 3 to 4 passes per rib space, with enough pressure to actually feel the tissue move. Number 12, pillow-supported lower back rocking massage. All the techniques so far target specific tissues. This one targets something different. The cumulative compression that builds up in your lumbar discs over a full day of sitting. Your discs are partly fluid and they lose hydration under sustained load. By evening, they're measurably thinner than they were in the morning, and your facet joints are sitting closer together. That's not vague soreness. That's a physical change. Place a firm pillow under your hips while lying on your back, which flattens your lumbar curve slightly, then rock your knees slowly side to side. That rocking drives fluid exchange back into the disc tissue through a process called imbibition. Discs don't have a blood supply, so movement is the only mechanism they have for rehydration. 12 problems, 12 physical solutions, no clinic required. What it takes is knowing which tissue you're targeting and why the technique reaches it, because pressure without that knowledge is just guessing.